there, life editors! Welcome to another one of our weekly live stream calls. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, you know how we do this. Every week we jump into YouTube, our Facebook group, and my Facebook business page, and we do this live stream. And this is your chance to ask me any questions you have about motivation, life editing, business strategies, anything that's on your mind. Share your successes and challenges with me and really support your other life editors. And then every week we do have a topic that goes along with our overarching main theme for the month. And the theme for May 2022 is manifesting magic. Yes. So if you haven't already, click the link below and download your free checklist for May so you know exactly what we're talking about on each one of the live streams, and you know our book club selection for the month. Plus, I've got some information about the Life Editor Clubhouse if you want to join us in there for more videos and trainings and support. So click the link below and download your free checklist so you know exactly what we're talking about this month. So like I said, the theme for May is manifesting magic. So for every week during this month, we're talking about the law of attraction. We're talking about increasing your abundance. We're talking about positivity. Last week, we talked about vision board mistakes. And today we are talking about aspiration journals. And then next week, you're going to love this. Next week, we're talking about law of attraction for skeptics. I had to add this because I know there are some of you who are like, Sage is talking about law of attraction again. Why is she doing this? But it's because law of attraction could really help you reach your goals. I know I'm mostly a productivity coach, but I do dip into the woo-woo a little bit here and there. So remember to click the link below and download your checklist so you know exactly what we're talking about this month. Also this month, we do a book club every month. And this month, since it's all about manifesting, we are reading Manifesting Made Easy by Jen Mazer. And I have left the link below in the description too, so you can get your copy of the book. I love this book. It literally is exactly what the title promises. It makes it super easy for you to manifest exactly what you want. There's no difficult to understand language. There's great examples in here. So we will be talking about this book on the 24th. So you still have time to get your copy of the book. And I left the link below for you to do that and read it and then come and join the discussion on the 24th. All right, so manifesting magic is the theme for this month. And today we are talking about aspiration journaling or scripting to get everything you want. Oh yes, we love that. We love getting everything we want. And since we're talking about different ways that you can use the law of attraction this month, so last week we talked about vision boards, we're talking about a different way. So vision boards with a visual picture collage to get clear on your goals and attract what you want. Today, we're talking about something for those of you who are writers or prefer to write out your goals or write out the things that you're attracting. So an aspiration journal is a law of attraction tool that uses writing. And I'm going to go over exactly how to do that. Okay, so if you don't already have it, make sure you have some kind of notebook or your planner or something to take notes on, because I'm going to explain exactly how to do aspiration writing. And I'm definitely going to prompt you to write out some of your goals using the techniques we're talking about today. Okay, so let's get right into it. What is an aspiration journal? Well, an aspiration journal is where you write as if everything that you want in your life has already happened. So everything that you want in your day to go well, everything we want to happen in your workday, everything you want to happen during a week, everything you want to happen in a month, everything you want to happen in a year, and certainly everything you want to happen in your entire life has already happened. So think about the goals that you have, whether that's to have a healthy body, to save a certain amount of money, to have a successful business, have a romantic relationship, whatever that might be, whatever your goals are. When you're doing aspiration writing, you are writing in a journal or in a notes app of some kind, as if those things have already happened and they are already here right now. Now, aspiration journaling is also called scripting. Leave a comment and let me know which phrase are you most familiar with. Are you most familiar with aspiration journaling, aspiration writing, or scripting, or law of attraction writing? How do you describe this? And I do have to go off on a little bit of a tangent. So I started doing aspiration writing maybe 25 years ago. I started getting into it where I would write down the things that I wanted as if they were already here in front of me, as if I had already achieved them. And I had read that was called aspiration writing or aspiration journaling. And then years and years later, I realized, like, reading other articles or watching YouTube videos or seeing other like abundance coaches out there calling it scripting, like you are writing a movie script and you're writing out the script for the movie of your life. So it was called scripting. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. I have to include scripting, that word, when I talk about aspiration journaling, because half of you folks won't know what I'm talking about unless I call it scripting. But I don't like using the word scripting. I like calling it aspiration journal because you are writing about what you aspire to have as if it's right here. And I don't feel like scripting is as clear of a definition of what it is. And a little bit of a tangent here. Another thing that has changed over time is many years ago, when people would write the things that they wanted to do in their life, the goals that they had for their life, or things that they want to accomplish before they died, it would be called like a life goals list, or 30 things I want to do before I die, or whatever, my goals list or something like that. So I've always called it like a life goals list. And then sometime around, correct me if I'm wrong, 2005, 2006, there was a movie that came out starring Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, and it was called The Bucket List. And the bucket list is literally that. It's a life goals list. But they call it the bucket list because it's things you want to do before you kick the bucket, that is, die. But the thing that bothered me is that, like, kick the bucket to describe dying is something that people used as slang like 100 years ago. It is so old. And like, people these days never use the phrase kick the bucket. So I think like the term bucket list doesn't like make sense. I was reading another like group chat of people talking about their bucket list, and the consensus was that it was called, why was it called a bucket list? They didn't associate it with the phrase kick the bucket. They associated it with an actual bucket, like a container to hold all of your goals. So they're like, it's called a bucket list because it holds all of your goals. And I'm like, no, it goes with the phrase kick the bucket, meaning things to do before you die. So anyway, that's another phrase that I can't stand. I can't stand to say the phrase bucket list. I would rather call it a life goals list. So kind of the same. I call it aspiration journaling because I don't like the phrase scripting. Leave a comment and let me know. Are there anything that you have heard, that like phrases or words that change over time and you're like, oh, why are people calling it that now? Or it just seems silly? Leave a comment and let me know if you have any of those like phrases that just kind of like confuse you. Okay, so we're talking about aspiration journaling today, and this is writing as if everything that you want is already here. Now, here's the difference between an aspiration journal and a regular diary. So if you have a regular diary or a regular journal, it's where you write down all of the mundane, normal things that happened during your day. Like, dear diary, today I woke up, I went to work, I ate a sandwich, I watched Netflix. Like, it's pretty boring. A normal journal, or even like if you have a gratitude journal where you're writing like one thing you're grateful for every day, it's still just the normal things that happen every day. Like, I talked to so-and-so, I went to the gym, whatever. That's a normal diary or journal. Leave a comment and let me know, do you keep a regular diary or a regular journal yourself? And do you look back at it and be like, well, this is kind of boring after a while? Like, how many times can you write, well, I went to work and I watched Netflix? So a diary or journal is just the mundane, average, normal things that happen in your life. On the flip side, an aspiration journal or a scripting journal are the things that you want to achieve, the things you want to attract into your life that are not here right now, but you are writing as if they are. So whether that's a new job or a new relationship or a bunch of money or happiness or a healthy body or something like that, you're writing as if it's right here now. You don't see it right now. You're doing your normal sitting on the couch thing, but you're writing as if you have that. Okay, so I've got some examples of how you write in an aspiration journal and how that's different from a regular journal. So here's the thing. For an aspiration journal, when you're scripting and you're using it to tap into the law of attraction and attract the things that you want to write in the present tense and make it positive. So got that. We're going to write in the present tense and we're going to make it positive. So instead, let's say that you have a business. Most of my clients have a business and you want to have a successful business and maybe you're struggling a bit right now. You would not write, oh, I wish my business wasn't struggling. Like there is no whining in an aspiration journal. So you can see how that's whining, that's talking about the bad things that are happening now, and it's negative. That is not how we write in an aspiration journal. Instead, if you want a successful business, you might write something like, I love helping my ideal clients every day, and I earn more than enough money through my products and services to cover all of my needs. Can you see how that's more positive? It's talking about the things you do want, not the things you don't want. And it's like talking about the things that you don't have right now, but it's the things you really, really want to attract, the things you want to come to you. So I love helping my ideal clients. I make more than enough money through my products and services. My business is growing constantly. I get tons of word of mouth referrals, whatever. You would write about what does a successful business look like to you. So you write that in your aspiration journal. So it's positive and it's in present tense. Here's another one. Let's say you want to go on vacation. You want to go on vacation to Hawaii. Instead of writing, oh, I wish I could afford to go to Hawaii. Remember, whining, negative, things you don't want. No, we don't write that. Instead, you would write, I am so happy and grateful that I am on my Hawaiian vacation, and I love feeling the sand between my toes and drinking a fruity drink on the beach. So you write about what you do want in the present tense as if it's right here. So I would love to hear one of your goals that you're working on right now, or something that you want to attract in your life, and how would you rewrite it in using aspiration journaling, using scripting, so that it's positive and in the present tense. So leave a comment and let me know something that you're working towards. How would you write about it positively and in the present tense for your aspiration journal? And I know this can seem a little weird to write about something that you don't have yet, and to write about it fully believing that it's here in the moment. Because I bet you have a lot of doubts right now. You're like, well, I don't know if I can ever achieve this thing. Or I am like way, way far away from achieving whatever that is. Or maybe there's a huge gap between where you are now and where you want to be. So it can feel kind of weird, like writing about something like as if it's already here. But it really is tapping into the same feelings that you do when you make a vision board. Instead of visually putting up the things that you want, you are writing about the things that you want. The thing that works for an aspiration journal is that when you write in the present tense, as if it is right here, right now, you're tapping into those feelings. And if you write something in your journal, like, I am a successful entrepreneur and all of my clients love and respect me, and I earn plenty of money to cover all of my expenses. Can you just feel like how empowering and joyful and hopeful that feels? As opposed to writing about, oh, I'm struggling. Why can't this work? Why don't people like me? Why aren't people buying my stuff? Like that whining is not helping you get to where you want to be. So it's kind of the idea of faking it till you make it, or the placebo effect, which we have also talked about on this channel. When you can feel with all of your being as if that thing was already in front of you right now, you would act different than how you are currently acting. So if you want a successful business and you write in your aspiration journal, you tap into those feelings, and you feel like, oh, yes, I do have a successful business. How would you act? You would probably do your marketing. You would probably put out some really great content. And you would probably be like really excited about any clients and any sales that you get, rather than being like, woe is me, that isn't enough. Let's say you want a healthy body, whatever a healthy body means to you, whether that's losing weight, or toning up, or getting off your medications, whatever. You want some kind of healthy body for yourself. If you tell yourself in your aspiration journal, like every morning, like, I have a healthy, strong, happy body, and I love getting dressed in the morning, and I have plenty of energy to keep up with my kids, and whatever it is that you're writing, how would you act? You might make better food choices for yourself, or you might take a walk around the neighborhood during one of your breaks. Or even if you're feeling lazy and you want to just sit on the couch, you might force yourself to do 5 minutes of stretching or 5 minutes of yoga. If you are out at a restaurant, you might make a better selection for food that maybe has less calories than something you would eat if you hadn't been writing in your aspiration journal. All right, so I want to hear if you've ever done any kind of aspiration journaling or writing. Have you been able to tap into those feelings? I know certainly for me, when I write about my business, it changes the way that I interact with my clients. It changes the way that I show up in my business. And that's really important to me because I want to feel like I am doing a good job and I'm providing good quality content and that people are getting something out of it and they're growing and editing their lives too. And if I come to my business being like, oh, I'm so grumpy today, that's not going to help anyone. Erin says, it feels like mental gymnastics to think about things this way, but I can see how this could be a helpful habit to become disciplined with. Yeah. So when you first start doing any kind of law of attraction exercises, whether it's doing your vision board, whether it's aspiration journaling, whether it's fake it till you make it, or doing a mental dress rehearsal, which we've also talked about, it can feel kind of like fake. Like, really? You want me to act like a millionaire when I'm not a millionaire? Really? You want me to act like a supermodel when I'm not? Or really, you want me to act like I have a romantic relationship when I don't? And it's literally the placebo effect. And we talked about that on this channel too. When you can tap into those feelings, it makes it easier for you to make those leaps to become that type of person. So let's say, let's say, I don't know, you want a healthy body. This is something that a lot of my clients are working on. And you can, if you do aspiration journaling or vision board or saying affirmations or whatever, to tap into the law of attraction and feel those good things like, I do have a healthy body. I am taking care of myself. I don't have to take medications, all of that stuff. How would you act? Like, you would start to see opportunities that maybe you wouldn't see if you were in this doom and gloom attitude. So you might notice like an ad on Facebook for a gym near you that has a great deal, but you wouldn't notice that if you weren't thinking in that mindset. Or if you're reaching into the fridge to get a snack, you might choose an apple instead of a candy bar or something like that, just because you're like, well, what would that fit person do? What would that healthy person do? So it's tapping into those things. It's kind of having, like we've talked about this before, having a persona that you try to act like. And I know a lot of my business clients, they choose a business persona and they ask themselves, well, what would Oprah do in this situation? Or what would Lady Gaga do in this situation? Or whoever is top of your field for your business, what would they do? So it's kind of what you're doing in this aspiration journal writing, but you're writing about you. So how would the best version of you, who does have a successful business, who does have tons of savings, who is in a romantic relationship, who has like whatever it is, a healthy body, whatever it is that you're working towards, how would you act? And at first, if you're not used to doing this, it could feel like Erin says, mental gymnastics, like it's going to take a lot of energy. But after a while, it just becomes second nature. Like we've talked about in another video, it's choosing between doom and gloom, pessimism, or positivity and optimism. It's really your choice. And whatever you choose, that becomes like your default, and that becomes the easy thing to do. So after a while, once you start thinking positively and start being like, every day I'm getting healthier, every day my business is growing, and really tapping into those feelings, it gets so much easier. And you start noticing those opportunities and you start working towards those things. And it doesn't feel like you're pushing all the time. So leave a comment and let me know, have any of you done law of attraction exercises before? And does it feel like, oh my gosh, this is taking all of my energy? Or does it feel effortless and easy? Or how long did it take to get to that point? I've been doing law of attraction stuff for so long that just feels like second nature to me to do affirmations and do my aspiration writing and make my vision board. Because I know when I do those things, I feel hopeful and I notice opportunities and I do grow, as opposed to like digging in my heels and being like, this is so hard. I'm so mad at life or whatever. Like that doesn't help anyone. Okay. So I gave you some examples of how to write in your aspiration journal. Present tense, make it positive. And you can do this for 2 minutes every morning. You could even do it right before you go to sleep. So you think about all of those nice things that you want to attract before you start dreaming. But let me show you exactly how to use your aspiration journal. And it doesn't have to be just literally like writing one sentence about what you want. There are many, many, many different ways that you can use aspiration writing or scripting. And I would love for you to figure out which one is most exciting to you and to try it this week. Okay, so here's how to use your aspiration journal. So first, you're going to want to get a notebook, a planner, or some kind of digital notes app. And if you're watching on YouTube, I have left links to some of my favorite notebooks and planners and pens to help you with your aspiration writing. So the first thing I want to show you is some of these like mini notebooks. I love like mini notebooks or something that you can just put in your purse or have on your desk and it doesn't take up a lot of room. When you are doing your aspiration writing, I highly, highly recommend having a separate journal or a separate notebook or something different than where you normally do your work. Make it special. Like you are attracting abundance. You're tapping into the law of attraction. So make it special, make it count. Don't just write it on the back of a receipt or it on a post-it note that you cram in your desk. Make it special. So these are some great notebooks that I got off of Amazon, and these are 90s themed notebooks. So you can see like the patterns are very like retro 90s colors. So I left a link to these. I have used these for a long time because they're small, but they have plenty of pages. They're portable. And I love the funky colors too. So I kind of know like when I'm done with one, I can put it on my shelf and move on to the next one in the pack. So these are really inexpensive. So these are the 90s themed notebooks. And if you're on YouTube, I left the link in the description. And then also, I recommend going to any kind of arts and crafts store. I love Michael's because they have a huge selection of like art journals. And I've gotten several manifesting journals from Michael's, the craft store. So this is one that I like. It's called It's Just a Phase. And it's got like all this astrology stars. I thought that was really pretty. So have fun with it. I mean, maybe you're going to have a cartoon character. Maybe you're going to have some kind of like astrology picture, or maybe it's going to be, I don't know, a color that really lights you up inside. Here's the one that I'm using now. And I think I got this from Michael's head for a while. It says, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Like if that isn't like the greatest thing to have on an aspiration scripting manifesting journal, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Because that's exactly what we're doing. We're tapping into that future self. We're tapping into who we want to be. And as you start doing your aspiration journaling over and over and over again, you'll realize like you start to adopt to the things that you're writing about. You start making those healthy choices. You start saving a little bit more money. You start doing those things that are going to grow your business. Okay, so that's the first step, is to get your notebook, get your planner, get your digital notes app, whatever you're using, and make it special. Make it separate from like your normal to-do list. Okay. And then you spend a few minutes every day, whether that's in the morning or during your lunch break or before you go to bed, writing your number one goal several times in the present tense and make it positive, like we just talked about. And then after you've written it several times, and you can choose what feels right for you. I know some people write in their aspiration journal until they get this like sense like, okay, that's enough. Or you might choose a number, a lucky number, and you might write it 3 times or 7 times or whatever feels good to you. And then say your goal several times out loud. I always read it, read exactly what you wrote, say it out loud, call it into existence. And then I like to finish with thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is definitely step 1 of my life editing process, is creating a foundation. So creating that gratitude foundation where you're thankful for what you have now, but of course you want to attract more of the good stuff that you already have. So I always end it with thank you, thank you, thank you. So write in your notebook, write your goal several times or whatever feels good to you in the present tense, make it positive, say it out loud, like read out loud what you just wrote, and then say thank you, thank you, thank you. So I will give you an example of what I'm doing right now. So I'm doing a 5x5 challenge, which I will talk about just in a minute. And so I'm writing my goal. Can you see it? So I chose to write it 5 times, and I'm writing it 5 times for 5 days. And then I have thank you, thank you, thank you here. And I always put a smiley face. That's just me, but I like ending my aspiration writing with a great big smiley face. And then I wrote it for the next day here. And I just have it in my journal. So let me explain what a 5x5 challenge is. If you go to YouTube or search Google or whatever, you're probably going to see a lot of people who are talking about scripting, who are talking about aspiration journaling, and they're talking about the 5x55 challenge or the 55x5 challenge. It's where you write your goal 55 times per day for 5 days. And that's kind of like their magic spell for attracting what you want. And I have done that 55x5 challenge where you write 55 times for 5 days. And I didn't get really good results. And here's why I think I didn't get good results. When you are writing your number one goal over and over and over and over again for 55 times, yes, it's going to kind of cement in your brain and you're going to be thinking about it all the time because you're literally writing it over and over and over again. It's it's kind of like how in the olden days, as a punishment in school, the teacher would have the misbehaving student write, "I will not blank," over and over and over again on the chalkboard. Raise your hand if you remember chalkboards. I know they're all whiteboards now, but I grew up in the 80s, so I remember those punishments. And that's the thing with the 55 by 5 challenge. It felt like a punishment for me. And after like writing so many times, my wrist would hurt, my fingers would hurt, and my handwriting was atrocious by the time I got to the end. And that is not tapping into the positivity, the abundance, the joy, and the hopefulness that you want to attract by doing any kind of law of attraction exercise. So it was really kind of like harming me to write that many times. Now, I will say I have seen plenty of videos of people who have done the 55 by 5 challenge and they've gotten great results. Good for them. It did not work for me. What has worked for me several times is a 5 by 5 challenge. And that's where I write my goal 5 times and in the present tense, making it positive for 5 days. So that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm doing another one of those where I write it 5 times. And as you can see, my handwriting doesn't get all messed up because I'm not writing it a bajillion times. It's just nice and neat. And I think that's really important. If you're going to do aspiration writing, write in your neatest, nicest handwriting. Don't rush. Use your favorite pens. And I have linked some of my favorite pens in the description on YouTube, so you can check those out. And make it special. Treat it like a contract because it kind of is your contract with the universe. So I've noticed that if I do a 5 by 5 challenge, I can keep my handwriting nice and neat. I can still tap into those happy, positive feelings. And by the end of it, my hand doesn't hurt. And so I'm feeling really, really good at the end of it. And I've gotten some good, I've been able to manifest several things doing the 5 by 5 challenge. So the one that I'm doing right now is I'm taking, when you're doing any kind of aspiration writing, it's good to like think big and say like, oh, I run $1 million business, or I have a great big sports car, or I have a mansion house, or whatever. I have a supermodel body and I'm a whole foot taller, or whatever it is. Like, yeah, of course, have some like big goals. But sometimes if you want to get the best results from scripting, from using your aspiration journal, is to start with things that seem realistic to you, that seem pretty doable. I notice some people, when they're very, very, very first starting with scripting, they will ask for something or write about something that is totally like normal and like possible. So a lot of people write, the very first thing that they write is that they want to manifest a cup of coffee. So you write, I'm so happy and grateful that I got this unexpected cup of coffee. And you just write that a few times. You're like, really? A cup of coffee? That's the goal. That's the big thing you want to attract. But when, like Erin said, if it feels like mental gymnastics, it feels like, oh, this can't possibly be real. If you're a skeptic, which we are talking about next week, we're definitely talking about skeptics next week, and it feels like impossible, then start with something super, super small, a cup of coffee, or that somebody you haven't talked to in a while is going to message you. Like, I'm so glad that so-and-so, who I haven't talked to in a month, messages me today, or whatever it is. And write that in the present tense as if it's already happened. And if you believe it, you're more likely to attract it. If something is too big, too impossible, you're not going to believe it, and you're not going to attract it. Leave a comment and let me know. Have you ever done any kind of law of attraction exercises, whether that's vision board or whether that's aspiration writing or affirmations or any of that? And have you ever picked something so big that you didn't believe it? So every time you said it or every time you wrote it, you're like, I don't really believe this. So you're putting that kind of negative energy out there. Or have you ever written something and it did happen for you because you made it doable? So for me, I'm writing something that totally doable, totally like within my realm of consciousness, within my realm of believability. So I'm writing for this challenge. I am so happy and grateful for an extra $1,000 this week. And I'm calling it an extra $1,000 this week. So that's on top of my digital sales that happen every day. It's on top of my subscriptions that go through. It's on top of my normal like client fees and all of that. Just an extra $1,000, unexpected. And I've learned over doing scripting for decades now is that it's best if you focus on what you want, but not how it comes to you. So I've stopped writing that I want $1,000 from my business, or that I want whatever, so and so in my life to do this specific thing, or I want, I don't know, a gift card to this specific store. If you leave it open to chance, you're more likely to attract it. So in the past, when I've asked for money and I've been really, really specific, like I want X number of sales for this specific product, I can sometimes get it, but sometimes it's a lot harder if I say I want just this amount of money from the universe. And then sometimes it'll come to you in different ways. You might get it from your business. You might get it as a gift from one of your friends. You might get it as an inheritance. You might win it in a raffle or something, or you might receive something of equal value. Like maybe somebody gives you something that's the exact amount of the money that you wanted to make. Maybe you could sell that thing or whatever. Or you get a raise and the raise amount equals out to whatever that amount of money would be. So don't like lock yourself into, though, it's got to come this way. It's got to come through this way, because the universe knows the quickest, fastest way to bring you what you want. If you just let it work for you rather than trying to like and be like forcing the universe to do it exactly how you want it to go. Because sometimes you might get something a lot better than what you want. The last time I did this and I asked for $1,000, I got $1,200. And it came from a totally unexpected source. So be open to that. One other thing that I do when I do a 5x5 challenge is because it's 5 days, I like to write it in rainbow colors. So the first day is red, and then the second day is orange because it's Tuesday. And then tomorrow I'll write it in green, and then blue, and then purple. And I found that works for me. Maybe you have a way of making it fun. You can use your favorite pens. Again, I have listed and linked my favorites in the YouTube description. Maybe you will put stickers on it or decorate it. Maybe you'll use your favorite notebook. Maybe you will write it out while listening to your favorite song. Whatever. I would love to hear the ways that you make your aspiration journal, your scripting exciting and work for you. Okay, so that is one way to do it. Well, actually, this is two ways. The first way to do it is just write your goal as many times as feels right to you. Say it out loud and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. The second way, which I just showed you, is to do the 5x5 challenge. So 5 days, write it out 5 times in nice, neat, non-rushed handwriting. And for me, I like to change the colors every day. Another way, which you have most definitely seen on YouTube, because I've seen a million of them, is the 369 challenge, where you write your aspiration phrase, whatever it is that you're attracting, 3 times in the morning, 6 times midday, and 9 times before you go to sleep at night. So it's 3 times in the morning, 6 midday, and 9 times at night. Which is, I still feel is not too much, where you could still do it without hurting your hand, and you could still do it while like keeping a positive attitude and have good handwriting. But I've seen people do the 369 where they do it for just 1 day and they get good results, or they do it for 3 days, or they do it for like 9 days or whatever. There's different lengths of time that you can choose from. But that's another way to get you thinking about your goal and tapping into that feeling and acting like your goal, acting like how you would act if you already had those things in the morning, right as you start your day, midday when your energy is waning, and then right before you go to sleep at night, so they have good dreams and you're thinking about all of those positive things rather than ruminating on all the things that went wrong during your day. So leave a comment and let me know, have you done the 369 scripting and how did that work for you? Another one that's also popular is a letter from your future self. Let me know if you've done a letter from your future self. So you take your notebook, whatever it is, take your manifesting journal, and you write as if you are your future self, whether you're 75 years old or whether it's you from 5 years from now or you a year from now or whatever it is. And you write about how good it feels to have reached that goal. Like, I am so happy and grateful that we got our act together and we started our own business and now we have all this extra money for vacations and whatnot. Or you might write about how good it feels to be in a healthy body and not have to take all those medications, and that you were able to keep up with your kids and do exciting things throughout your whole life. So think about yourself, whether it's a year, 5 years, 10 years, or more in the future, and write in your aspiration journal as if you are that version of you. What advice would that version of you give yourself? So if I was looking back at when I started my business 11 years ago, I would write to her and be like, you're doing great. Keep putting your work out there. Take massive action. Do your marketing. Don't just sit on the couch. Do your marketing because that's the only way you're going to get sales. And don't let the haters get you down. Like that's how I would talk to her. So I would love to hear, what advice would your future self give you? Like whatever your goal is, you want a romantic relationship, you want a healthy body, you want to pay off your debt, you want to have savings, you want to have a thriving business, whatever it might be. Like, what do you want to achieve? And then how would someone who has achieved that, you in the future, how would they talk to you now? What advice would they give you now? And a lot of times, like writing about how you would act is one thing, but taking that specific advice, like doing your marketing or meal prepping on the weekends or putting yourself out there in some way, like you know deep down in your heart exactly what you need to do to achieve the goals that you want. But maybe hearing it from your future self can get you to actually take action on those things. All right. Next one, kind of related to your future self, is to do a perfect day diary entry. And for those of you who have my 12-week planner, it's the colorful one with all of like the little emojis and stuff all over it. You can get it in for free in the editor's toolkit, and I'll leave a link below. So if you have my 12-week planner, there was a page in there about writing about your perfect day. So I get you scripting even in my planner. So you write about what it would be like to have a perfect day from morning to night. And it's a perfect day kind of within your normal life. It's not a perfect day for you 20 years from now. But what would you do if everything were going right for you right now where you're at? So maybe you would wake up in the morning and you would feel refreshed from a good night's sleep. You would eat a healthy breakfast that makes you feel good and gives you energy. You would have nice, loving, constructive conversations with the people in your life. You would have a great day doing whatever it is that your work is, your own business or working for someone else. And maybe like you get good praise from your clients and you don't feel overwhelmed. And maybe you sleep well at night, like whatever it is, what would a perfect day look like from start to finish? And write that in your aspiration journal. So leave a comment and let me know, what is one thing that you would have in your perfect day? What's something maybe you don't have right now? I'm trying to think, what would I have in my perfect day? Well, some of the things I already have, like I already spend a lot of time with my perfect, beautiful puppy. My dog, I call her a puppy. She's 11 years old, but I love her and she still has tons of energy. So I would probably write about my dog, Skyla, having tons of energy. I would write about having a great lunch. I would write about having really productive, meaningful calls with my clients where we get stuff done and we have a nice plan. I would definitely write about getting good sleep and waking up feeling refreshed. I might even put in there that I would get something unexpected. Something unexpected would come to me. I like that. I'm someone who likes surprises. I like packages and gifts. I like emails that like catch me off guard and surprise me. So let me know if you like surprises too. So I would probably write in my perfect day that some surprise, some beautiful, wonderful surprise happens to me. And I would let the universe figure out what that beautiful surprise is. All right, so that's another one, is to do your perfect day entry. So Marie France says, my perfect day would include working on my business full time and be retired from my day job. Yes. You have no idea how many of my clients have this exact same goal, but it's true. Maybe you're working at a job. It's just not what you want to do, or it takes you away from your family, or you have to commute for it and work outside the house, or maybe you're not getting paid enough, or the work just doesn't excite you. Or maybe you would rather have something where you get to choose the products and services and you get to choose the prices and you get to choose your lunches. I'm saying that because I'm doing that with Marie France and she's having a great time being able to make these choices for herself. So maybe that's something that you want too, and you want to do that full time rather than having another job or a day job or something that pays the bills, but maybe paying the bills and affording your lifestyle through doing what you love. A lot of my clients have this goal. So write your perfect day as if you wake up in the morning and you get to do your own business. You get to do what you love to do. And you don't have to like rush off to another job. You don't have to be away from your family. You don't have to like worry about how you're going to fit everything in or push things off or not play big. I know a lot of my clients who, when they finally do quit their day jobs, and if you want more advice on that, set up a free call with me, because I have a whole slew of things that I'd like people to do before they quit their day jobs. I don't want you to quit your day job in a huff because it makes it difficult. But once you do start working on just your own business, you're going to be doing things that you didn't have time for. Like you're going to be able to do that deeper marketing and really get in front of the people who could benefit from whatever your services are. I know sometimes it's difficult if you don't have a lot of time. Although I do have my Startup in 60 course, which I will link below, that will teach you how to work on your business, even if you have a million other things going on, whether you have 60 minutes per day to work on your business or even just 60 seconds. Yes, that's exactly what the program does. It teaches you how to work on your business in 60-second bursts. So check out Startup in 60 if that interests you. So yeah, let us know in the comments, even if you're watching this replay later, let us know, what does your perfect day look like? And what would you include? What would you be working on that maybe you're not doing right now? Who would you be seeing? Like what actions would you take? What would you be eating? Where would you be living? All of that good stuff. Perfect. Okay, the last one I want to talk about, scripting, and I dropped it. Hold on, let me get it. Ugh. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is something that I learned from The Secret. And for those of you who follow The Secret or The Secret's website, they have all sorts of good law of attraction tips and tricks depending on what you like, whether that's watching law of attraction movies, or whether that's doing scripting or aspiration journaling, whether it's making vision boards or doing affirmations, whatever it is. So one of the things that my clients have found really fun, and I find fun too, is the magic check. So here is a picture of the magic check. How many of you have done the magic check? I know a lot of you have. So I left the link in the YouTube description where you can download the magic check. And this is from the Gratitude Bank of the Universe. Yes. Because when you're grateful for what you have, you can attract that much more. So if you go to thesecret.tv, and I left the link below, you can print out their magic check. It's completely free. And write down how much money you would like to ask from the universe. So like I said, for the scripting that I'm doing this week, I'm asking for just an extra 1,000 this week. That feels completely doable and normal. This is going to sound super conceited, but for those of you who are scripting for a cup of coffee, an extra $1,000 feels like a cup of coffee for me. Oh, that's really conceited. I'm not going to say that anymore, but you're going to pick a number that feels doable to you. You're going to pick something that feels like, yes, I could imagine that happening without too much resistance. Like you could imagine it happening maybe in several different ways. I think that's a really good way to think about your scripting. If you could imagine it coming to you many different ways, like let's say you are attracting that cup of coffee. There's a million ways you could attract a cup of coffee. You could have your coworker get you a cup of coffee just for fun while they were at Starbucks. They just thought of you and got you a cup of coffee. You could go to a meeting or like, I don't know, a meetup group or a PTA group or something, and they have free coffee there. There you go. You could be going through your emails and, oh, Dunkin' Donuts just sent you a coupon for free coffee. Or maybe like, I don't know, you are going one story that I've read about someone who was doing the coffee experiment is they were at the airport waiting to get on their flight, and someone else had just bought a Starbucks, hadn't drinking it yet. Then, they had to run to their flight because it was boarding right now. So they're like, I don't have time to drink this. Here, you take my coffee. And the stranger just gave her a cup of coffee. So there are so many different ways you could get a cup of coffee just coming to you. Or maybe you like, I don't know, buy so many sandwiches someplace and you get a free cup of coffee with it or whatever. So on your magic check, write down how much money. This is a check, so we're asking for money here, but you can ask for other things in your aspiration journal. So ask for the amount of money that feels within reach. And we do that because then when you do attract it, you get that burst of excitement, like, it worked for me, yay! And it makes you want to do more law of attraction exercises. But if you always pick something that's so far out of reach that you don't believe it, like you write $1 billion on here, and you don't get $1 billion, that's going to make you feel crummy. That's not going to make you want to keep doing good things for yourself. That's not going to make you want to look for opportunities where money can come to you. But if you write down something like, I want to attract $50 this week, then you'll start seeing ways that $50 could come to you. You'll start acting like, well, how would I act if I had that extra $50? Oh, well, I would pay off that bill, or I'd fix that thing in the kitchen, or whatever it is. Like, think about how you would actually use that money coming to you. So again, if you're on YouTube, in the description, I left you the link so you can download your magic check. And when you do write out your check from the universe, I'd like to keep it on my desk, or like stick it on the refrigerator, or put it on your bathroom mirror, someplace where you'll see it all the time. I've also known people who use their wallets like every day, like they're out and about running errands all day. If you put your secret check in your wallet and you're constantly opening your wallet, you'll see it in there too. Like, ooh, I've got money, I've got money. So put it wherever you will see it every day. Okay. So let me recap some of those different ways that you can use your aspiration journal. So first of all, go out there, get your journal, make it fun. I've linked to some of my favorites below. I've also linked to some of my favorite pens, because if you want to do that color coding thing that I talked about. So once you've got your aspiration journal, then pick however you want to do it, whether it's just writing a sentence or two every morning about what you want to attract as if it's here in the present tense, and make it positive. Then read it out loud and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. You could do the 5x5 challenge, which I'm in the middle of right now. You could do the 3-6-9 challenge, 3 times in the morning, 6 times midday, and 9 times at night. You could do a letter from your future self. You could write your perfect day diary entry, or you could do a magic check. So those are a few different ways to do scripting, to do your aspiration journaling, where you're writing as if everything that you want is already here. But I want to hear from you. How do you use your aspiration journal? And do you have another writing trick that I haven't tried yet? Like I said, the 55x5 was too much for me. It did not work for me. But the 5x5 works really, really well for me. I've done it many times, and sometimes I get the stuff not in the way that I thought it was going to be coming to me, but I've always gotten something, which I think says something about it working for me. If you get into that wavelength, if you get into that mindset that like you're working in conjunction with the universe, and if you start tapping into those positive feelings, the joyful feelings, the happiness, you're going to start attracting those things to you. You're going to make different choices when you're in that mindset. You're going to notice opportunities that have always been there, but you haven't noticed them because you're not in that mindset. And people will notice that. I definitely noticed that. Like, I can pick out people who are positive, who are optimists, who are maybe doing some kind of law of attraction exercise, because they are just like magnetically attracting good things to them. I mean, I remember years ago when I used to work in a corporate office, and I could pick the people who would always like get help. Like if they needed something from another department, they were always sunshine and rainbows and certainly helpful, and they would get what they need. Or if they were talking to a client who was really unruly, they would get that client to comply because they just had that natural way about them. And then I also distinctly remember a few Debbie Downers who would attract negative, awful things to them all the time because they were always in that negative mindset. I know you know people like that. We're not naming names here, but I know you know people who are Debbie Downers, and they're always like, my life sucks, everything sucks. Oh, and it's just one calamity and catastrophe after another, after another, after another. And it's like, whoa. It's because they're always in that negativity. They're always in that negative mindset. So they can't even see the good things that are around them. They push that away and they only see the bad stuff. So with your aspiration journal, you're going to start seeing good things. You're going to tap into those good feelings of what the successful you, the healthy you, the person who manages her money well, you, the successful business owner, whatever it is that you want. You're going to tap into those feelings and attract those things to you through your aspiration writing. Now, like I said, some of you are visual learners or whatever. You do better with vision boards. But some of you, like a lot of my clients are writers. And I think that just naturally happens because I'm a former book editor. I attract people who are writers. So if you're a writer or content creator of some kind, try aspiration journaling, try scripting. It might work better for you than some other things. And then some of you don't like any of those. You're not into the DIY crafty stuff. So you might do better with affirmations or mantras or chanting, or like changing your passwords to your goals or other things. Next week, you're going to want to tune in because I have some law of attraction techniques for skeptics. So if you're like, law of attraction doesn't work, it doesn't work for me at all, you're going to want to tune in next week when we talk again, because I've got some ideas that you haven't tried before that can really show you that, yes, you can tap into this positivity. You can attract what you want, even if you don't entirely believe it. Like, that's the thing. The placebo effect works whether you believe it or not. It's always working in the background. Okay, so the last little thing I want to end with is something I shared in my email newsletter this morning, which I think is kind of funny, is that if you came in, and I've got like all of my my past journals and notebooks down there, but if you came into my home and started rifling through all of my journals and you were reading my aspiration journals, you would read them and be like, what is this? You're just talking about your business. You're just talking about your current launch. You're just talking about living in California. You're just talking about your bank account and whatever. And you'd be like, this is boring. This is a regular diary, until you look at the date. And you'll notice that in my aspiration journals, I was writing about all these successes that I wanted in my business and life months or years before they actually happened. So we talked about at the beginning of this call about how a diary or a journal is writing about the mundane things that are already in your life, like the job you already go to, the shows that you watch, the things that you do throughout your day. Eventually, you're going to look back at your old aspiration journals, and they're going to seem like mundane, normal diary entries for the life that you have created for yourself. So I definitely remember writing about having a 6-figure year, having dozens of clients, having a growing business, like all of these things before I was actually able to do them. And I've definitely attracted those things to my life, but it's also because I thought positively about those things. And I did those things as if I were a 6-figure business owner, as if I did have a sold out like coaching retreats or whatever it is. So I want to hear from you. When you start doing your aspiration journal, when you start doing your scripting, or if you've already done it, leave a comment below, even if you're watching the replay, and let me know. What were you able to tap into? What were you able to attract to yourself? How did you change how you acted based on what you kept writing over and over again? I mean, if you keep writing that I have a healthy body, I'm strong and fit over and over again every morning, you're definitely going to start making different decisions in your life. You're definitely going to start noticing things that align with that version of you. And I would love to see what things you were able to attract, and if anything surprised you. So remember to leave a comment. I definitely want to keep this conversation going. Okay, next steps. Lastly, before I let you go, I want you to get a journal. Again, I've left links to my favorites below, and start your aspiration journal this week if you do not have one already, or if you are doing it, but you're writing it on like scraps of paper or something. I want you to get a proper notebook. Again, I've linked all these little ones below, and make it special and do some aspiration scripting this week. Then also come back and share in the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, let us know if it's working for you. Also in the description, make sure you have downloaded your checklist for May, so you know exactly what we're talking about this month, and you know all about our theme, which is manifesting magic, and our brand new class in the clubhouse, the ultimate guide to vision boards that work. And then make sure you also get your copy of Manifesting Made Easy. This is our book club selection for this month, and we will be talking about it on Tuesday, the 24th. So you still have plenty of time to read Manifesting Made Easy before we discuss it later this month. Whew. All right, life editors. Let's see. I don't see any other comments coming in right now, but I do see the comments as they come in later. And I will respond to them. So please go ahead and leave a comment if you're watching the replay. Marie France says, great video today, Sage. Going to go get a blank journal now. Yeah, find one that speaks to you. I love seeing pictures of people's aspiration journals. Again, like there's a ton of great ones on Amazon. I've left links below, but go to craft stores or art stores. They have some really, really pretty journals too. Heck, you can even go to the dollar store and like decorate one yourself. Like if you want to make a vision board on the cover of your aspiration journal, that would be super, super helpful. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much for being here today, life editors. I hope you go and create your aspiration journal and start writing in it regularly. And then stick around for next week because we're talking about law of attraction for skeptics. I know you're going to love it. All right, have a great rest of your week. And thank you so much for being here. I will talk to you again real soon. Bye.